Revelation chapter 7, starting in verse 10. We'll try to get the last 10 through 15 taken care of with this. In verse 10 it says, "And cried with a loud voice, saying, Salvation to our God which sitteth upon the throne and unto the Lamb." Now, this is weird for the people in the white robes to say to me, because they're saying salvation to our God. I think, just being honest here, this is all theoretical on this particular verse, but I think that they didn't translate this word salvation correctly, because the word is soteria, which doesn't always mean salvation. Rather, it means welfare, prosperity, deliverance, preservation, salvation, or safety. And so salvation doesn't seem to be the normal sense, because there is no reason to call out salvation to our God. God doesn't need salvation. So this seems more of a prosperity sense, such as when we would say, "Long live the Queen" in England now. Kind of the same aspect. It's not really saying that God needs to be saved, but rather you are wishing prosperity and preservation and safety and welfare for the Lord. Verse 11 and 12. "And all the angels stood round about the throne and about the elders and the four beasts, and fell before their throne on their faces and worshipped God, saying, Amen, blessing and glory and wisdom and thanksgiving and honor and power and might be unto our God forever and ever." And so we see the angels, the elders, the four beasts falling down and praising God again, as we saw back in chapters 4 and 5. Verse 13 says, "And one of the elders answered, saying unto me, What are these which are arrayed in white robes, and whence came they?" So now we're going to get a little bit more information about these. So we get the elder speaking to John, asking John, who, not what. This is another one of those horrible translations. But honestly, it can mean what, but it makes no sense. It's who are these? And whence just means from what place. It's just not a word that we really use anymore. Rather, it's just a fancy way of saying when. Verse 14 says, "And I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest. And he said to me, These are they which came out of great tribulation, and have washed their robes, and made them white in the blood of the Lamb." There is a very interesting tidbit in this verse. The Greek for sir is Kyrie mo, which means the Lord of me. And the word Kyrie denotes a person exercising absolute ownership rights. So this does not necessarily show that the elder is in the same position as God, but rather it shows the meekness of the position, and that the elders have a position of so much honor. But there is a problem with this verse, and that is in the next part of the translation. He says, "These are they which came out of great tribulation." And the Greek has a word that is missing in the English. Between ek, out of, and thlipsios tes megalis, tribulation the great, is another use of tes. It is, "These are they which came out of the great tribulation." It is a specific tribulation. And not every tribulation, but a specific one. The, because both tribulation and great are singular. This is not a tribulation that has spanned over centuries. These are specifically ones who have trusted the Lord from all the nations that are killed during the Great Tribulation. And that's a lot of people who have died because they believed God, considering John couldn't count them, and he just counted 144,000 people when he was numbering the tribes of Israel. Verse 15. "Therefore are they before the throne of God, and serve him day and night in his temple, and he that sitteth on the throne shall dwell among them. They shall hunger no more, neither thirst any more, neither shall the sun light on them, nor any heat. For the Lamb which is in the midst of the throne shall feed them and shall lead them unto living fountains of waters, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. This is their reward, however. They will live forever with God, serving Him day and night in His temple, having intimate communion, which is skenosai for dwell, with Him. They will no longer hunger, thirst, or be burnt by the sun or any heat, because the Lamb will take care of them. And also, just as a small little fun point, there are people who say there are no tears in heaven. I've heard it said. But here it says, God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. And this is where they get it. The word wipe away is properly to rub or smear out, completely remove away, obliterate, remove totally from a previous state, with the outcome being blotted out or erased. These people will no longer cry.